Welcome to the video everyone. Today we're going to talk about employment and IBD. Oh, what do you think of the intro? Bit much, or comment below if you liked it, because I did put some effort into that, so I hope you did enjoy the intro. I went and got coffee while it was on. Is it weird that I've got a coffee in a tea mug? Don't judge me. Anyway, so talking about IBD and employment, I'm going to break this video into two parts. Hopefully it won't be too long. The first part I'm going to be a bit more informative. I'm going to share with you something from Crohn's and Colitis UK. They have an app called the Companion, and it's on their, well, it's not an app, sorry, it's a web browser. If you go onto your phone and you type in Crohn's and Colitis UK, and then you just put Companion, go straight to it. It has loads of helpful articles if you need help with finding a job, like what we're talking about today, your medication, or if you just want to talk to someone, the charity is there to help. I will link that below. Someone has just messaged me. So I wanted to find some helpful information for people out there about your employment, and not just my anecdotal experiences. As helpful as they can be, you need something a little concrete. So that link below is going to be this first part. Now, when you have an interview, there is a law called the Equality Act, which was in 2010, which means that an employer can't ask you questions about your health. Now, during a job interview, you can have a part of it that is a medical exam. However, you can say, I have IBD, and they are required to make some reasonable adjustments. Now, the reasonable adjustments are dependent on the context of the job, on the person, on their disability or ability. So it's very dependent, but that is something that you have. If you're going for a job interview, you know that they're never going to ask you a medical question. Therefore, it is up to you if you want to disclose you have IBD. And I'll talk about what I did in my interviews in the past. But also in an interview process, you can ask for feedback, which is a highly recommended thing to do. However, did you know, after an interview, because of the General Data Protection Act, which was in 2016, you can request any data that a company has on you, any personal data. So technically, if they've written something down about you during the interview process and they've filed it, logged it, you can request that. Which I think is beneficial to ask for feedback anyway from an interview. But if you really did think that they were being dismissive of you because of your IBD and you wanted to make a case against them, you can request that data. So if you want to go to this article that Crohn's and Colitis UK have, it's got loads of information on there about when you should disclose your IBD, who you should speak to, what rights you have, everything. It's a very thorough article, and the Companion is very helpful for a lot of people, and I highly advise that you go and check that out. Okay, so the second part of this was going to be some more of my anecdotal experiences that I've had in the past. So I've had 2 job interviews where I told them, which was my recent one, and where I didn't tell them I had IBD. So in the one where I didn't tell them I had IBD, it didn't affect the job role at all. I got the job. When I started, I told my superior that I had it, and then I think I told HR about a year or 2 into my employment. Now, I had moments where my bag had leaked and I'd just gone into the disabled toilet and I'd just sorted it out. But I could have had more help, I could have had more reassurance from my employer if I'd have disclosed it a little bit sooner. I told the people around me, some of my colleagues, because it's just something I do talk about openly with people around me. and then I did eventually tell my boss. Now, with that job, because my boss knew and my employer finally knew, I was there for 5 years. It was really beneficial because when I had surgery, they took that into account, and when I finished my surgery, they gave me a back to work plan where I only worked for like 4 hours a day, and then 5, and then 6, and then 8, and it was really beneficial for me to get back into work because of that. So they did that for me because I was open and I was honest about my condition. Now, that interview went fine and I didn't tell them, but then afterwards I had that kind of awkward, when should I bring this up? Now, in my most recent interview, which got me the job that I have now, I brought it up basically straight away. They asked me what I do outside of work. I said the gym, but I said making videos, because at the time I was making more, and sharing content on Instagram that I have an ileostomy bag, and I used it in a positive way. I showed that I was an outgoing individual, I was proactive, and I wanted to help others. I thought it was, one, it's a big important part of my life. Having this bag saved my life and I want to be able to talk about it. 2, I thought it showed that I had good character. I'm not saying that because I have this channel or whatever, I'm better than other people. I'm just saying that it showed, I think it showed that I was well-spoken, outgoing, those types of things that, and no one else was going to say that. No one else is going to go, oh, I got a YouTube channel about IBD, unless, I went up against someone who did. So it's different about me, and I showed it. I showed it in a positive light. Now, I did it for another reason. I wanted to bring it up in the interview because if the employer I brought this up, it was my choice. If they were funny about it, if they were weird, if they were dismissive, if I felt uncomfortable, this was my new boss. If I wasn't able to talk to them about this openly, then how am I going to tell them, oh, my bag's leaked and I need to go home to change because I had nothing with me? So it was a two-way thing. I did it because I wanted to show that I was a positive person, and I did actively try and help a community of people with IBD, and also I wanted to see their reaction to me having a disability. And the reaction I got was very positive. And by telling them, they put me onto the HR person straight away and said, if you want to talk to somebody about it, we have this person, which is great. I'm open with more or less everyone in the department. I have an ileostomy bag, they all know, and I feel like I'm able to talk to them about it if I have an issue. Like, I've had a bag leak where I've had to go home and change, and my boss just said to me, it's halfway through the day, by the time you get back you'll be here for an hour, just go home and take a sick day for half the day, which I thought was really, really nice. They didn't have to do that, and in my last employment someone did that for me as well. Moral of that story, always have bags with you, always have a change of clothes. So there's my anecdotal information. Check that link below. Check the other link, which is information about that personal data protection policy, and read more about it because you can request. So if you learned something new in this video, if you have some comments about how I've set this up, please comment below, subscribe if you aren't already, and I will see you guys in the next video. And then I will. This laptop's not even on. It's not on. It's just, I just wanted something in front of me. Maybe I should put it on, maybe I should write some lines. Oh, someone has just messaged me. I'm going to turn off my phone. Boop. Beep boop. Don't they know I'm making videos?